Well, here we are right before Valentine's Day. It's Friday the 10th. All kinds of things happening in the marketplace. I've had a lot. I just did a video this week, and of course, we're talking about the fact that I see a recession coming. Now, there's lots of people saying no, there's not going to be a recession coming. I could certainly be wrong, but there's two indicators that I look at that are so compelling. It really causes me to say I really need to be cautious at this juncture. And let's just talk about them. So what I'm talking about, of course, is interest rates. They really have a tendency. Your cost of capital really is going up. It's gone up almost double, almost tripled in the last 12, 18 months. And of course, liquidity itself is being drained. So let me go to my very first slide. Let's just talk about it. It affects us all. And of course, we're investors. We protect our portfolios. Our rentals are doing just fine, but are we ready to make some acquisitions? Because we are down a little bit in the marketplace. Now, here in Phoenix, Arizona, like Las Vegas, we've noticed a 45% drop in transactions. Prices have dropped just a little bit, maybe 9 to 15%, depending on where we are and how appointed. Remember, when you're talking about residential properties and real estate, each one's absolutely unique. So you can have two properties next door to each other, exactly the same, and one's taking care of the property, the other one has not. The one that's been taken care of, been upgraded, that's worth more money. So there's always a little bit of subjectivity to it, but these are not. These are facts. This is what's going on in the marketplace, and this is what drives me to being cautious. Now, I'm not saying don't buy. I'm saying be cautious. We want to make sure where we're placing our capital. So let me go to my very first slide, and let's just talk about that. Now, I'm going to tell you that there's a song that says love makes the world go round, and it's a Valentine's Day coming up. But in the business world, it is not love that makes the world go round. It is liquidity that makes the world go round. And look what's going on. Now, this is looking in the rearview mirror. This has already happened. This is what made the markets explode, the economy explode. This is what drove prices. This is why you had cars everywhere selling, in luxury cars, people buying Rolexes, buying diamonds, because there's all kinds of money around. People were doing transactions, lots of money being made. Because in March of 2020 through March of 2022, the Federal Reserve and the Treasury Department, they put in $10 trillion worth of liquidity into the economy. $10 trillion. Now, let me ask you, what do you suppose is going to happen when you put $10 trillion? Do you suppose we're going to get a little bit of inflation? Do you think that's possible? And of course, I think our powers to be, the Federal Reserve, knew that. And now they've let the genie out of the box, so to speak, and now they need to get it back in. And we're going to pay for that. And this is what they're doing. They're removing liquidity like never, ever before. So they're removing liquidity, and places that in the third world, like Lebanon. Look what happened in Sri Lanka. The place just went crazy, civil disruption. Look at Lebanon, they can't pay to keep the lights on. And you're seeing this all around the globe. Even some of the big modern countries, like Switzerland, the Swiss National Bank had come to the Federal Reserve looking for swaps so they can get some cash, get some US dollars into their economy. So this is a very, very severe shortage. And I'm going to tell you, when you have a shortage of liquidity, you don't have fuel for the engine of the economy. No gasoline to run the engine, it's gone. So without that, I anticipate that the economy is going to follow this trajectory. This has happened time and time and time again, but never at this level. We have got no fuel in the system, and it's being drained. What's there now is being taken out. Let me go to my next slide. We also have the double whammy of higher cost of capital. We have a terrible yield inversion that's going on. Now, we've touched it a couple times. 2019, we had the correction in the housing market. We had a little bit here in 2020, but look at where we're at here. We have got a huge yield inversion here, and this is causing problems. So this is the cost of the capital on the front end is being driven much, much higher. and people are going to the long end anticipating the fact the economy is going to slow down and they want some yield. Look at this next slide, and it's going to astound you. Look at this. So here we are. This is looking out till 1980 and earlier, like 1970s, and look at where our inverted yield is. It's right here. Now they're not done yet with the raising of the interest rates. Now, if they go up to 5, 6, 7, 8%, this is going to get much, much lower. This is going to go down here, and probably already it's starting to rival what happened with the inverted yield with Paul Volcker. We're already there. Nothing else for the last 40 years comes close. Now, well, maybe you don't remember. I was there when we had the high interest rates with Paul Volcker. He absolutely destroyed inflation. That certainly came down, but he destroyed the economy as well. So we have a double whammy. We've got no liquidity, and we have a very high cost of capital, and it's causing an inverted yield curve that's approaching Paul Volcker status. So what does this mean to you? Well, it means to me that we need to be very cautious. We're being very, very careful with what we buy. So that's not to say that we're not going to buy. We just want to make sure that we have a margin in there. We want to have a margin of error. We want to make sure we've got a really good property. Now, as things slow down, as I mentioned before, we've got 45% fewer transactions. So we're having listings come to market. They're on the market longer for that. We don't have the pressure and the craziness we had 2 or 3 years ago. So we can negotiate better. We can get better properties. We have much more amenable sellers. They're more willing to sell. So we're getting better properties at better prices. We're getting our yields in. Even with higher interest rates, we're able to get better interest. We're able to get better returns because the prices have come down. So we like that. This is very, very good for us. The problem we have is, where is bottom? So at what point do we say, well, this is good enough, we're going to get in? Because remember, we're investing for 20, 25 years. Now, I always tell my clients, you want to get in for 5 years minimum. This is standard in the industry. But once you start getting your checks and they keep increasing on you, you never want to sell these properties. You're hooked. You want to get this for the next 25 years for life. Let's get the kids involved in this because it's good business, good investments for yourself. So somewhere along the line, we have to step into it. So if we have turmoil for the next 24 months, we're investing for 20 years. So somewhere along the line, we need to buy a property. Now, I'm not saying you need to jump in with everything, but you might see a property from here and there. We're getting very good properties at greatly reduced prices. I think if you analyze this, there's lots of good things, particularly if you're overseas. So if you're in any of the, we're seeing a lot of European interest, and that's obvious because we've got conflict on their borders, and we have a lot of Far East. We've got Japanese and Korean and Taiwanese. We have a lot of people coming to here, particularly here in Phoenix, Arizona, because we're one of the top markets in the United States. So, if you're going to bring foreign capital and you want to go Florida, Texas, or Arizona, those are the ones you want to go to, and we're of course we're set up for that. So we're seeing a lot of that. So it makes perfect sense to do that. 1031 certainly makes good sense to do that. It's just when we start putting new capital in, we just want to make sure that we're very cautious as what we do with that. And we're more than happy to brainstorm with you, talk to your financial advisors, do the calculations to make sure that this is what's going to work for you. I mean, we're in here together. I want you to do well. It's good for all of us. So let me go to my next slide. This is where I'm at. West USA does our back office work. They do our compliance to make sure we do all the regulations. We dot the I's and cross the T's. You're welcome to reach me at their corporate office. And I would love your business. We're more than happy to work with you. In the meantime, my very best to you. Bye-bye now.